Um, First thing I want to talk about is I've always felt the need to get ahead. Um, even as a child, I was always trying to be a step ahead of everybody in like every aspect. I always it's not that I wanted to. It's not that I want to be better than everybody else. It's that I just wanted to make sure, I guess, I really didn't fall behind. It wasn't, like a self-righteous thing, even though sometimes it kind of came off that way. I'd kind of sometimes it'd come out selfish. Um, you know, because I feel so much, it's hard for me to express my emotions because I come off sometimes I come off like a fucking dickhead. Like a really sometimes I'm a fucking dickhead, and that's not good. And actually, my last romantic relationship I was in, that was the first time anybody ever really brought out the anger in me in like a romantic relationship on a consistent basis. She was a Sagittarius, and she had a lot of fire in her chart, and I have a lot of water. So, sometimes we would balance each other out, but, at the end of the day, we were toxic for each other, so that's why that ended. But that's always been a challenge for me, because because I've always wanted to learn and keep up and even be a steps ahead of people. It's hard for me to relate to people who don't try to do that, because I don't like slowing down. And like part of it's like I have ADD, ADHD, so like my brain just fucking moves so fucking fast most of the time, and it's just constantly going, and so people can't keep up with me at all. Most of the time people just cannot keep up, and it gets frustrating, and I just get frustrated, and I don't know how to really express that, and it comes out as frustration because I can't understand. I don't know, like, it's hard for me. Like, I've really had to teach myself patience. Patience has been it's been a bitch. Patience fucking has sucked. But I've learned to have patience very well, actually. I've always been very careful about my words, the words that I choose. And if you notice, you can just see it on my facial expressions and just my body language that my gears are just constantly turning. Like you can just I just feel like it's just evident you can just see that my gears are always going, and it's just it's created anxiety in my life too. It really has, and so. I'm constantly trying to live in the future, so I have anxiety because I'm trying to stay a step ahead. And now I realize that I understand that now. Why I always felt that anxiety. I always felt like I was behind. I didn't want to fall behind. I always wanted to make sure I kept up. Do I really? I don't. It's not that I really need help anymore. This is just me really kind of connecting dots. For myself, finally, I do understand it. I do. I understand it. It all makes sense, So, I've really dove deep into my astrological chart lately, and just really kind of broke it down. I've just been trying to break it down and really, hammer away. But yeah, that's always made it difficult, and that kind of that turns into. I always wanted people to think highly of me. I always wanted to fit in. I always wanted to fit in, but I realized that I wouldn't. I realized that I was different and I was unique, that a lot of people wouldn't understand me because this life shit is what I like to talk about. If I got to do something every fucking day, this is what I'm doing all day, every day. Like, this is not work to me. This is slight work. Like, this is love. Like, this is what I want to do. This is why I'm doing this right now. It's been a struggle. Because, I always want people to because I always want people to understand me. Sometimes I feelize that too much. And, you know, so with all the water in my chart, you know, I started getting my feelings about it. So, you know, with all the water in my chart, I get feelings about it, you know, so, you know, I'll start getting like emotional, or I'll have like self-doubt, or, you know, I have like, I feel like an insecurity in something. But I've really come a long way from that. Actually being with my last ex was actually, you know, like I said, it was toxic, but it was actually really good for me. Peace Reflection 11, I see you. It was really good for me because she did have a lot of fire in her chart. It taught me how to really assert myself, because yeah, I have a lot of water in my charts, and you know, I like, you know, mostly if you just look at my chart, you know, I'm not even ashamed of it. You know, I'm more in touch with my feminine side. My feminine energy is stronger than my masculine energy. So I obviously need fire to balance out my chart. Well, like I said, you know, sometimes she was good, but, you know, at the end of the day, she was just toxic. But what it taught me is, you know, first and foremost, I am a man. I am assertive. I'm dominant. That's just who I am. Like, my brain, you know, I do good in like high intensity situations. You know, my mind is usually always pretty fucking clear, as long as I'm in my logic. As long as I'm in my logic, I'm cool. But when I start getting my emotions, that's always been my debilitation. So, and it's honestly, like I said, it's directly reflected in my personal life consistently, because my self-doubt, and then all the feminine energy that I do, you know, have, that's obviously going to reflect in my life by putting more dominant energies in my life. I've come across a lot of dominant energy that has stuck, and during these times with these people, you know, like I said, you know, they would yell or whatever, and, you know, I know my pops wasn't around, you know, so I'll talk about that later. I'm gonna talk about that at the end of it. But, you know, he wasn't around, so because of that reason, I've always had a problem with authority figures. I've always had a problem with authority figures, because I saw the man who I saw. Okay, I don't even get into my father yet. I don't want to get there yet. We're gonna get there at the end. Anyway, it taught me. It's actually really helped me, because I've always been a person to kind of sit back and observe. You know, I'm that person who, you know, I observe more than I talk about. You know, I observe everything. I'm constantly taking shit in. Like, I have so much water. Like, I'm constantly fucking taking shit in. And, you know, like I said, sometimes it gets overbearing, and sometimes it's just too fucking much. But being around, you know, because, you know, my reality has directly reflected and put me in a situation with, you know, beings that have a lot of fire in their sign, or that have a lot of masculine energy, like my Babylon uncle. He lives in Texas. I worked for him twice for about 2 years, a year at a time. There's a lot of like ranching work. It was just hard fucking labor. You know, we built a fucking fence like 3 acres long, but it was on concrete. So, you know, 2 bags of 80-pound concrete in each hole, you know, and there's, you know, there's like 300 holes, you know what I mean? So and it's Texas heat, so it's just hard ass work. And he's just, you know, he has that, you know, that 60s, 70s mentality, you know, whenever they grew up real fucking rough, like shit was not pretty. Like, you just fucking worked till the shit was done. Like, you worked till the sun was down, and you didn't go home till that shit happened. You just don't. That's not how it is down there in Texas, man. If you really dive into the construction, hands-on, working with the hands, society there, it's fucking real. Those men really, I admire them because they really do work their ass off. They really do know hard, honest work. And, you know, that is respectable. That is respectable. That is honorable. You know, God sees that as honorable work because, you know, they're farming food for us to eat. You know, they're doing all these things for our benefit. You know, sometimes, you know, we laugh at them, yee haw, motherfuckers, but, you know, they're the ones bringing our, you know, like while we're in Babylon, they're the ones who's growing our vegetables and our fruits and shit. So, you know, at the end of the day, we do owe them. But, you know, my uncle, he really cracked the fucking whip. He really cracked the fucking whip. And like I said, I never had a father figure. So, and, you know, this is when I'm 19, 20 years old. I never had a real father figure up until this point. So it was really hard. I didn't know how to internalize and deal with someone yelling at me. I didn't know how to react. So I freeze up. I would like freeze up. And it's not because I'm scared. It's just like my anxiety just goes through the roof. And it's always been hard for me to just kind of push things off like that because I'm real careful about my words and how, you know, I'm really choosy about how I come off to people. I try my best. Sometimes, you know, if I'm acting, you know, in anger and, you know, I have a really short fuse, like, and, you know, like I get mad over stupid dumb shit, stupid ass dumb shit, like a zipper not going up, or, you know, like I can't find my fucking phone, you know, like stupid dumb shit just pisses me off. And I think that's a lot for intelligent people because it's like, I'm smarter than that. Why the fuck would how can I lose something so simple? You know what I mean? So I think that does have something to do with, you know, that does have a correlation there. So I always internalized it. I never really stood up for myself. And in school, I always did. I never let anybody bully me in school. You know, people would try. They realized it wasn't going to work. I always stuck up for myself, and I always will. That's not going to fucking change. I've just never been that person. I was always the bully to the bullies, the kids who couldn't stick up for themselves. You know, because I empathize with people a lot. You know, I put myself in people's shoes all the time. That's what I do. Like, I am constantly trying to see life from somebody else's perception and perspective because I think that's very interesting, honestly, because we're constantly going through certain things and we don't know what that other person's going through. And it's just crazy to think, you know, because constantly we feel like we're the only ones in this world. We feel like there's nobody else but us, you know, because especially for people who are like us, you know, on the Christ conscious, especially people like that, because there's not a lot of people, so people are not going to understand us the way they understand people. You know, to be famous and shit is to be fucking accepted by the human mass, just like Master Teacher said earlier. But, you know, I never really, like, a part of me wanted to be accepted, but once I really kind of, that goes back to my father. That's where that stems from. Like I said, that's coming at the end. But I've always attracted, like, I have my best friend, and, you know, I'm still friends with him. No, he's not on the Christ conscious, but he's moving in the right direction. And so, like, and me and him are like brothers, like literally brothers. But, you know, now at this point, like, I'm vibrating away from him because he's just not on this vibration. He's not on this frequency. And, you know, it really fucking sucks because he's cool as fuck. You know, he's a Leo. So, you know how fun they can be. And you know how, you know, real Leos really are. Leos are probably the realest sign if you look at their sun sign. They're authentic people. And I love authentic, loyal people, because that's how I am. I'm so deeply rooted in loyalty and authenticity that I can't respect anything less. And it's hard because it's hard for me to respect anything less because I don't come from that. I can't understand. I just can't understand that. but he's growing, and I understand, I see that. So, you know, that's his first step. So, you know, I kind of just drop jewels every once in a while, you know, just to kind of keep him straight, because he has a lot of anger, you know, so he doesn't understand. Like we said, you know, like we all know, behind a lot of anger is a lot of hurt. You know, his parents split up, and you know his father's never around, and you know was his Leo son, and all of his other aspects going on. Like he's just an angry person, but at the end of the day, he's cool as fuck. He's one of those people that he don't give a fuck about you until you prove that you really care about him. That's how he is, and I feel that because it's hard to trust people nowadays, because people switch up all the fucking time. Nobody knows how to be real anymore. It's fucking crazy. I just can't that's why I'm like, I literally have no friends. Like, I come on here and I fucking talk to y'all. Like, I hang out with like 3 people here, if that. I don't even know if it's that many. It's just, nobody is really doing anything where I'm at. So, like I said, I've always just kind of been my own fucking person. Goddamn. But I'm very thankful now that I've connected the dots on that, because I do have so much feminine energy, that has, being around those kind of people has really kind of instilled in me just to be firm, you know, be masculine, you know, just to have that, you know, they really kind of punched that masculine energy into me, and it's worked. It's definitely worked. I stand on my own 2 fucking feet. I don't let anybody push me around. I don't. I know what I know is what I know. Like, you know, I'm a know-it-all. So like, I will literally go look shit up. I'm not afraid to be wrong. You know, that's one thing I cannot stand, is a motherfucker who's afraid to be wrong. I can't stand a motherfucker who can't fucking admit if they fucked up. I will call you out 10 times out of fucking 10. It don't matter. And give you some extra. I can't, I will always call out fake shit. I cannot relate to it. So I'm gonna obviously, that's a problem in the world. So I'm gonna bring it to your attention, because I don't want you to realize that if you don't start being authentic, we're not gonna be cool. Like, we're not gonna be friends. I've lost plenty of friends because they weren't being authentic. They want to lie about some stupid shit. Like, dude, I don't give a fuck what the fuck you're doing. Like, I just asked you if you want to chill. Like, you don't gotta tell me. You don't gotta fucking lie to me about what the fuck you're doing. You're not gonna hurt my fucking feelings. I'm gonna be okay. I'm just saying, if you wanted to fucking kick it, that's all. I'm not, you know, like, I'm in touch with my feminine side, but I'm not emotional. You know, and that's always reflected in my romantic relationships. You know, the majority of them ended because they said that I didn't give them enough. I wasn't showing them enough affection or attention or whatever. And it's like, you know, I guess we can get to it now. That comes from my father. Like, you know, he was never around, and this is a master build in itself when I'm talking about my father, because that's always been something I always just thrown behind me. Let me give you all background on that so y'all understand why I feel the way I feel. So, I mean, I'm sure you guys maybe heard a little bit of a background, but I lived in Texas till I was 7, moved to Ohio. My parents got a divorce when I was about 10. Growing up was different. Not different, you know, I was a child, so I didn't really see the environment for what it was, and it wasn't a bad environment. That's not what I'm saying. But, you know, there were some things happening that, you know, I was a child, I wasn't aware of, you know, so, and it's not till now I've come to understand these things, but, yeah, so they got a divorce, and then after that, you know, he's from Texas, and that's where his family was. He decided, his family was in Texas and he just couldn't stay in Ohio and, not being able to see us whenever he wanted to and all that shit. So he moved back to Texas. I resented him for it for a long time. He never really called on my birthday, holidays, all that shit. Never really did. If he did, it was late. I know he loved us because he talked about us a lot, but he didn't show it. He didn't show, if you were on the phone with him, he would make sure you knew he loved you, but he never showed, he never really showed love. He didn't really ever show that, but he was a feeling person. But I don't know, I just connect with him now because I understand where he's coming from, but at the time I didn't. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. I'm trying to give you guys background. Fuck. So, peace, Chief. I love myself. Oh shit. All right. Well, I'll wait. I'll finish this one up later. I'm trying to watch her download. My download really ain't shit. I've done most of it anyway, so it's all good. It's about my father, so that can just be a whole build itself. I really just kind of want to go over that real quick, couple things. But I finally connected the dots on it. So I feel really happy about that. And I truly understand myself and why my reality projected the way it did. It makes sense. And so, the first step is to understand your reality. And then you can start to alchemize it however you have to do it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know the patterns of your brain. You have to truly know thyself. You really do. You got to know your patterns because your patterns are always going to keep on showing up until, it's a bunch of ones and zeros, right? So throw a fucking 3 in there or throw, you know what I mean? Just try and fucking throw something different to try and fuck shit up a little bit to give you a different reality because you can't keep on doing the same thing and expect a different result. We know that. That's insanity. It's not going to happen. That's not the way reality works. I mean, it's just not the way reality works. Reality is going to give you whatever it's going to give you all the time. It's just how the fuck it is. It's not gonna fucking change. The laws of the universe, we can't fucking escape that. I've told you guys, my fucking brain moves so fucking fast. It's crazy. This is how fast my brain really moves, but I try and slow it down for you guys because, but anyway, but that's how fast my brain really fucking moves whenever I'm under pressure. I'm good under pressure. I'm telling you, put me under pressure. I don't give a fuck. That's why I'm putting myself on the front fucking line. I don't care. I'm made for this shit. I was here for this shit. I love pressure. I love the pressure. Put me under pressure. I don't care. I've come to terms with being under pressure. At first, it gave me anxiety, but now it's like I fucking welcome that shit. I'm trying to face that fucking demon. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to fucking hit that shit head on. I'm not trying to have no fucking fears. I'll look that motherfucker in the fucking eye now. I don't give a fuck anymore. I really don't care. 'Cause that's just myself. I'm gonna fucking figure it out. I'm gonna fucking figure it out. I don't give a fuck. Face me with anything you want. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I'm gonna figure it out. You know why? Because I know myself and I love myself and I'm God. I'm God, motherfucker. And you are too. You can do everything I can do. I can do everything you can do. We can do everything, man. It's fucking crazy. Stay lit. Stay fucking woke. Stay fucking woke. All right, I'm about to hop off. I'll do the father build another time. Let's go hop on Chief. I love myself. Peace reflections. Stay lit.